to the Right by Cooper audio experience, a podcast that brings no-nonsense business advice taught by a serial entrepreneur, vetted and approved by one of your own. Now your hosts. She's an orthodontist, speaker for ULabs, dental monitoring, and others. Dr. Bran Cooper, and the founder and CEO of New Patient Group, managing partner of Right Chat, and a speaker for Invisalign and OrthoFi, Brian Wright.
I kind of don't know how to respond to that.
Well, you're supposed to say, well, you never do things like that. What are you talking about, Brian?
But that's a lie. We don't lie.
There's certain times you may want to lie, so people don't get too much of the behind the scenes that goes on here in the studio.
No, I don't like lying.
Hey, everybody. Welcome into a side of me that I never wanted anybody to see or hear. I may have to cut that out. I'm not 100% sure that part is going to go live. We did. We ate at the steakhouse last night, and the cheese was a problem.
Are we still going? You're like doubling down on this.
It was a problem. But hi, welcome in. Welcome into the studio here. What are we going to talk about? What's on your mind?
I think we should talk about how pushing into digital systems affects your day in, day out life. Because there's some good things and there's some bad things.
Okay, that's a cool one. One of the things that all of you need to remember is, and this is a good exercise. I have customers do this, and I think we can tie today back into this exercise is one. And sometimes until this is on paper, it's really hard. So a lot of you are like, oh, I already know. And I will tell you, no, you don't. You need to put on paper what you want out of your life, right? And that could be as greedy as you want. Like we have customers that they want 20 cars. We have others that want to give all their money to charity. And the beauty is you get to decide. Nobody else gets to decide for you. You get to pick. And then employees, what do you want out of your career? And then what you want out of your business.
And the important thing on this, I struggled with this for years. It's not what other people expect for you to want out of your life. It is what you want. And you don't have to justify why you want it. You just want it.
You just want it. And I think that's a problem for a lot of you in this. And I think this is a problem for
everyone.
Chefs and whatever.
I think it's everyone.
But it's like you let other people, you watch them on stage and for, you want what they want or you want to copy what they do or whatever. Stop it. Pick and define what you want out of your life, employees out of your career, and then create your business to make sure all of that happens. Yeah. And I think all these digital workflow things and solutions that we're going to dive into, I think is one of the things that drives me crazy about this industry is when we do this exercise and you'll get orthos, they'll say, I want to spend more time with my grandkids or just my kids. I want to travel more. I want more freedom, blah, blah, blah. But then they're running a very analog-based practice, analog braces, spending all their time bending wires. They have a massive team, but they won't change because it's like you're never going to have free time as you grow when you're doing things analog-based, sitting by the old way.
The only way you get free time in that system is hiring an associate.
Associates, which is a nightmare in itself.
That's
for
a
different
whole thing.
Reasons.
So then that's where it goes back to what do you want? Do you want to run a practice? And this is when you were asking on a rapid fire. So if you've seen that episode on the NPG group, he was like, how many practices do you want? And what was going through my mind in that moment is, well, depends on who I find. Yeah. Because it's about the who. If I find associates, I might open 37 clinics. If I find people I think are excellent at what they do and I can support them having a couple practices themselves, great. But if I don't find the right people, the right who's to run other clinics, like max, I've heard of one clinician running 5, and the advice that was given to me from that clinician when I asked him about it was don't do it.
Don't do it.
So right now I'm at 2.
That's the advice I got after I got married.
Oh goodness. Kristen's amazing.
What? That was I got that advice too. Like, don't do it. Don't say yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
I caveat that with it's still the best thing you ever did.
It depends on the day.
Oh, goodness.
And my mood. But yes, she is wonderful. To put up with something like me, you got to be pretty good. Yeah. But anyway, back to the point.
Back to the point is, okay, if I'm by myself, then what are my limits and what digital tools am I using to stretch my limits and increase my capacity?
Yeah.
And that is going to determine the tools that I have available to me and what they can do will stretch my limits, and then legally, what can I do within the legal bounds of whatever state I'm practicing in?
Yeah.
And between those two things, those are the questions I'm asking myself as to how many clinics I want or what my capacity is for the number of patients and things like that.
But that's also the tools you're choosing, right? And this is where like the vision of life and vision of whatever your practice is, you've got to then go out and make sure the tools you're using, both on the non-clinical side of things and then clinical, which is really what we're talking about now, allow you to do it. And that's what, it's not common sense by any means, but if you're this person that wants freedom and you don't want a big team and you don't want the headaches of associates, which by the way, bring a lot. Sometimes the associates can be more of a headache than the hourly employees from what I've seen, time and time again in practices. You've got to have the treatment modalities to make sure all those things are possible. I mean, I don't, the analog braces sitting there bending wires when all these digital solutions are available, I can't wrap my head around why anybody wouldn't use the digital solutions. But it's probably the reason why some don't use aligners or don't know how to make money with it, is because you have a lab fee sitting there that on paper you don't have with braces.
It's the lab fee and then implementing the systems well, which is something. So because I've had two different experiences, I'm in the middle of one, and then I've had a different experience with my Scratch startup where it was always small enough for me to be like super nimble. Like the next thing came out and like I could implement it. Like we got it going in like 2 to 3 weeks. I had enough admin time that I could really like pump into that new tool and get it there. And that was a lot easier than implementing digital systems into a practice that had traditionally been analog. And then I bought it. And now, you're dealing with...
Smart move.
You're dealing with a team that hasn't been with you for ages and ages. And so you're trying to build trust while you're trying to implement things.
Yeah.
And so...
That's a podcast for sure for a time. Because there's tons of people that are in your boat where it's like you go buy a practice.
Yeah.
They're used to being it one way, having one teacher, if you will. And then and they're outdated, right? And then you try to update things and do it the way that works so great, and then they push back on it because they're used to, dinosaur age, and then you have to deal with all that.
Hey everybody, Brian right here. Hope everybody is enjoying today's podcast. We are certainly having a lot of fun together in the booth, and a lot more great podcasts are coming. Want to talk to you a second. What we're talking about today, we goof around a lot in the broadcast booth here, and we have a lot of fun, but this is serious stuff. A lot of you are facing a lot of chaos and stress, and that could be coming to you in a million ways, right? You may not be growing because there's multiple practices around you. You may be losing a price war where you want to be more expensive, but you're afraid if you do it, you're going to lose even more conversion than you already are. There's a whole host of things going on. Maybe you have a huge team and you're dealing with turnover and stress. I want to talk to you about that. I want to give you a 15 to 30 minute business consultation. I'm going to put my Calendly link in the podcast description below. And the first 3 people that sign up, I'm going to give a 15 to 30 minute consultation to, and let's just chat business. Let's figure out what your stresses are, what you want out of your life, what you want out of your employee's career, and definitely what you want out of your business. Let me help prescribe a plan for you like we do with Dr. Brent Cooper and so many other big names in this industry that you see on stage. So talk to me for 15, 30 minutes. I look forward to learning more about you, your team, and your practice. And now let's get back to today's episode.
Well, and the rate of change that every person is really used to handling is different.
Yeah.
And it's not like the whole team is at this rate and I'm at this rate. It's like I'm at this rate, another one team member's here, another team member's here, another team member's here, and I'm here. It's just getting everyone that has to change together.
Yeah.
The rate of change is happening at a rate that no one person can control.
Right.
And then everyone else is having, the team is having to deal with the rate of change as it is, even if that's an uncomfortable rate of change fast or slow.
That's a whole, I know there's tons of you out there you bought a practice, so you're facing pushback from the team that was there, or even maybe the doctor you bought it from still hanging around and he's ganging up against you or she, too. But so message today, so let's wrap it up. They're tired of listening to us. We're not going to get any 5-star reviews.
No, the message today is talking about digital and how that can be the best thing. Because the other aspect of having these digital systems is it can allow you to have more time freedom.
Yep.
And there are points in time where you're picking between time freedom and money freedom and what your priority is there.
That's the piece that drives me nuts is there's so many solutions to all these problems. And for whatever reason, you as an industry, for the majority of you, it's like you accept the chaos. Like the waiting room is packed. You're miserable at the end of the day. Or some of you are miserable 5 minutes into the first day when the first patient shows up late and your whole scheduling, your perfect scheduling template that doesn't exist because the perfect scheduling template imagines everyone running on time. And like, there's solutions to this. Like, go out and invest in them and everything's going to be good.
I think there's a point at which it doesn't feel good. And we've got to acknowledge that, because when you implement it, you're dealing with the change,
right.
You're spending more money, and then
short-term pain.
And you're going to come out the other side. And, I think I've experienced like kind of coming out the other side with one practice, but then it's like, now here we go. Here's the second practice. We're going back into the valley. And so you have to like mentally charge up for that.
I think, and again, it goes back to the instant gratification, right? If someone says, hey, I have a solution that can solve all your problems, you need to give it 2 or 3 years. Most people pass on that. And then somebody says, I have a Band-Aid that can help your problem, and it's a short-term solution. You get a bunch of people jump all over it. And the reality, if you want the most out of your life, employees, your career, and then you want to set your business up that's going to allow you to get the most out of that, there's not a short-term solution for it. On the business side or the clinical practice side, you have to have a vision and you've got to just keep committing to it. But do the exercise. This is what I want out of life. This is what I want out of my career. Here's today, what's in the business standing in the way of allowing that to happen. And then also put what you want out of your business. And sometimes there's things in your life standing in the way of it. It could be kids. It could be spousal relationship, whatever the hell it is. Do the exercise and then guys go out and invest in finding solutions that are digital that'll help you get there, right?
Invest in the right tools and the right people.
Awesome. All right, we done?
Yeah.
All right, see you everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for following us. Bye-bye.